Thank you.
All right, Jake. Well, thanks for coming out, man. You came from Ogden, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, just for context, I always had the dream of podcasting people about survival
Mm-hmm.
type deals.
Gotcha.
And I've done it before. We've done documentaries on it. The guy who's monitoring this podcast has done some epic documentaries for Black Rifle called Stories of Survival that we've done.
Okay.
But every time I see a person who's gone through something epic, it's the two brothers. One of the brothers lost with the mountain lion attack, and he fought it off.
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
There's never anybody local,
I
and
know.
they're in the hospital, or they're like you.
Yeah, I know.
They can't
Beat
get
up.
to me because they're
Yeah.
not down the road. But you're in Ogden, Utah, right?
Yep.
And this happened. Where did this happen at?
This was up in the Uintas, more towards like Whitney Reservoir, northern, well, not really northern, it'd be like, I guess it'd be northwest, closer to the Wyoming border, kind of in the high peaks out there. Public land gets quite treacherous out there, but there's big deer for sure. So,
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
yeah.
I need some cheat codes. So I got you a backcountry carrier.
Wow,
that's for
man.
you.
All right.
And then a first aid kit because I know you use yours.
I already did. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome.
So you could have the backcountry carrier, and then if you get flipped out of your UTV, at least it'd be on your person. It'd be on your body.
I could use that, man. Yeah, that's for sure. Awesome.
Before we get into it, let's just start off with you because I'm interested to know your background and where you grew up. Your mom's in the studio with us, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I could tell by your Tacoma. Is that your mom's Tacoma or yours?
No, that's mine. That's my backup guide rig. So
is it? Yeah. All right. Well, let's start off with give us a little bio about you.
I actually grew up on the East Coast, originally like Buffalo, New York. Borderline of Canada. Not a lot of huge elk or anything out there. Grew up hunting like whitetail and smaller stuff out there, but got addicted to just the mountain and backcountry hunting in my late teens, early 20s, and got real passionate about it. Started just doing it myself, winging it, and then eventually got into guiding, and it got me so into it that the epicenter for me of that kind of hunting is these 4 states: the Colorado, Montana, Utah. So I found a great place to guide out here, and a place where I thought I could open up a weld shop, and both of them worked out. So I've been here for 3, almost 4 years in Utah.
So you're guiding and welding.
Yeah, so I have a weld shop with a bunch of guys that help me out there, and then for just about the entire season, I do deer, elk, moose, the occasional bear and stuff like that, smaller stuff. But I'm obsessed with it, and I don't intend to stop doing it anytime soon, even with this. So
that's rad, man. I hope my boys. I got 2 sons.
Yeah.
I hope they grow up and get a hands-on vocational skill set like that. Guiding as well. I mean, guiding's a really good hands-on vocational skill set.
Yeah.
And when everything falls apart and all the drama in the stock markets, people still want to hunt. People still want to weld.
And the welding and fabrication gave me the ability, once I got good at it, to kind of make my own schedule even without working for myself, because I could take a job where I knew they needed a welder, and I was like, okay, here's the deal. Like, I want 3 months off to guide, but no other days off the entire year. Wow. And that was my first time. I was like, okay, I'll work 9 months straight every single day of the week. I don't care.
Looking forward to that 3
months.
Those
3 months, though, you let me go, and I got a job to come back to. And that's how I started doing it. And I have no idea how these people let me do it, but I must be a decent welder or something. But that's how I started off doing it. And then, you keep going. And then the guiding got a little more lucrative, enough for me to move out here and try to my own thing. So
what's the fabrication shop? You just do custom fab for welding?
Yeah, it's called Master Welding and Fabrication, and everything from, crazy overhangs up on a mountain like pass, for some guys' door and gate, to like custom roll cages, exhausts. There's nothing we don't do really, and no place we won't weld something. So
that's awesome.
That's kind of what I pride myself on. Half with the guiding too is like, I'm in the weirdest places anyways. I might as well bring a welder if I have to. So
yeah, that's rad, man. That's a skill set I definitely need to learn. I feel like less of a man if I don't know how to weld. It gives me anxiety at night.
Yeah, that's good.
So you end up, I assume, I saw a little story clip of you, and you were talking about you were doing some scouting or something like that. You were just
I was just scouting for the season. It's only July, and archery will open up mid-August, something like that, August 16th, I think. So you try to find a deer that you want to spend your time on. You know what I mean? you can always find an okay deer here and there, but I want to find something that's worth actually like, okay, that's my target this year. And everybody likes to find their target deer, but public land, it's like you really got to work for it and you got to sift
Oh
through
yeah.
a million okay deer to find one that's like, pushing 70s, 80s, 90s. And now you're like, okay, now I'll spend time on that. And that might be half the reason I got a little greedy trying to get closer to it, driving up to it. But, that's what I was doing the whole day. And I found tons of deer. I really did. It was a great day. But that one special deer, of course, comes out right before dusk, and that's when everything really happened. And I went to try to get closer to him.
So low light, backcountry. You're in the Uintahs,
Yep.
Uintas.
Yeah, I found him probably 2 miles away, and I wanted to get real close to see if he had character and as thick as I thought he was, because he was with three other bucks. They're in a group, and I saw from a distance, like I didn't even need to see again. I dropped my scope. Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna go look for him real close. And of course, where he was is a gnarly spot. So I keep trying to go up closer, and I would check on him. Okay, he's still with his group. He's still with this group, but I couldn't get anywhere safely with the UTV that would like just drop me into his like little plateau that he was hanging out in. And you know, around that, actually, I came upon an elk in a bear trap and had to spend 20 minutes wrestling the damn thing to the ground to get out of a bear trap and all this stuff. And okay, and I went back there, and he's still there. So I still couldn't get close enough, even after this big delay. And it's probably about
Wait,
eight.
your delay was you had to get an elk's
Yeah, yeah, like
leg out of a
on the
bear
trail.
trap.
Yeah, on the trail. I
You
would have
just
had.
glossed over that like that's not a big deal.
Well, I would have had to run over it. It was just sitting there, like a fawn does when they're in trouble in the middle of the trail. And I was like, what is this thing doing here? And it tried to run away. And I see there's this sketchy trap on it. It looked like some old trap that she happened to
Oh,
just step in the right way near a little water hole. So me and my dog get out. And even an elk calf's, it's a good size. She's
oh
probably
yeah.
120 pounds, something like that at this point. And she beat the hell out of me. But, I kind of double legged her to the ground, open up the trap. We both like, what the hell happened? I got a video too, and I'll send it to you. It's
Yeah.
it's wild. She stares at me, I stare at her, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go now. And she's like, all right, well, and just casually walks away. Yeah, my dog was even like, what the hell was that about?
What
Like,
just happened?
yeah, so he hops back in the kennel, and that's when I went to the next road where I was like, okay, this deer is no more than 500 feet above me. And I was like, okay, I see a trail that used to definitely be a 2-track, but I get up on it and I'm probably, it goes left and hard uphill. And I got left 10 feet and started to go uphill, and I see up the trail and it's 3 foot overgrown. Nobody's taking it. No, thank you. I'm just going to hike it. Whatever. I'm close enough at this point. I just go off the gas on the brake, slowly letting off the gas, just going to roll back down. And I was probably just going to park or back up to the corner, turn around so that when it was dark, I didn't have to turn around. I go maybe 5 feet, and I'm down to the point where now I'm almost flat, but I'm slightly turned. So I'm like, my rear right is the low point, and it just starts to drop, and I'm not sure why. And my front left just it's not spinning because I'm not even in four wheel. It wasn't even that treacherous. The front left comes off the ground, and I was just like, oh shit. And I was like, okay, like just stop. And I stop, but it just started to sink in the back. I have no idea why. I couldn't tell you to this day. It was a huge rainstorm 2 days earlier. Maybe it was a big soft spot. The
Little
grass is over.
depression.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. And okay, it starts to go. And in my head, even though it happens fast, it feels like forever, but also immediately. I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And I was like, you got to jump out this window. And my driver's side window's open. I didn't have my belt on. So I go to bail, and it just trucks over, man. So I'm probably halfway out my body. And that's when I assume it broke my ribs right here because the window, the windowsill eventually, it took me like that.
So the door's open.
No, the door's closed. My
You're
window's
trying to
open.
bail out the
Yeah,
window.
so now I'm trying to jump straight up to get out of this window. Okay, it shit whipped me, dude. Like
Yeah. Because
completely
it
goes.
snatched you.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm half out, half in. So it goes over. It like crushes me and shoots me back in. And all I can really remember at that point is just tons of crunching noises, and then all of a sudden I got flown out, and I'm on the ground, and I can hear my side by side still rolling. And I was like, holy, wow. And I'm on my ass at this point, and try to use my right foot because at this point I'm just like, any other dude, I'm pissed off. I just wrecked my machine, and I'm like fuck, like now I got to walk out of here, and I feel like an asshole.
Yeah. You
And
still got adrenaline
yeah,
surging, so you don't even
don't
recognize
even
anything.
recognize anything's wrong.
Yeah.
I go to use my right leg, and it just pops, like a hockey puck hitting the boards almost in a weird way. But I was like, ooh, wow. And I look at it, but it was fine. It was straight. And I was like, oh man, it must have been just severely dislocated or something. I popped it back in. Okay. I stood up a little bit. I can use that one. Cool. This one, I was like, God, I just can't get up. Like, what is going on
Can't
here? Like,
support your weight
what is
on it.
going on here?
Yeah.
And I'm on a super hard angle. So it's almost like I was sitting like I am on this couch. And I grab my leg like this, and I can't see my foot. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and it's dangling under my leg. And I looked to the side, and I was like,
It's trashed.
you gotta be fucking kidding me.
It's
Like,
trashed.
it gives me goosebumps to think about it. Cause that moment I was like, wow, this just went from like a bad walk home to like, I'm fucked.
Like you might die.
Yeah. Like it's dangling. Both legs are just, or both bones are just shattered. Like, I'm just looking at this thing like, okay, well, meanwhile, I'm sliding down this damn cliff, dude. It's so steep. And I keep going. And then out of nowhere, my dog just pops up like, hey, man. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I forgot that I had my dog.
Like your dog's out of the kennel.
Completely okay, tail wagging. Comes up to me like we're about to go search for a bird. And that, like, and my mind's in a million places now because it's like, holy shit, I forgot I have my dog. I can't believe you're alive. Like, I can't believe you.
Was that one of your first thoughts? Like, oh, my
Yeah.
dog's dead.
I went right to my leg. No, honestly, I forgot I had him. I was in such shock over what I just saw with my leg, and I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I intelligently not die here? And then he pops up, and it gave.
Snaps you out
And
of
so
it.
instead of going into like this depression and panic, I think dude, he probably saved me right there.
Yeah.
Because it was like, holy shit, you're alive, man. Like, and I hugged him. I was just like, holy shit. Like, and the side by side was still rolling for like 10 seconds. It went like 100 more feet, and it was just excruciating. Because then I was like, oh my God, what if he was in that? And I just had like a panic attack, but it's like, okay, calm down. Here we go. Check for more injuries. And I'm like, no shit, nothing else is broken. Like, this is crazy. And I got like, all right, I'm good. My face was a bit scratched, and I got, cuts and bruises, and I'm bleeding a little bit, but like, holy shit. And then I'm like, okay, well, for a second, I was like, oh, dude, just wake up. Like, this is just a terrible dream. Fuck, please just wake up. Please wake up. Nope, not waking up.
And it's getting dark.
It's 8:45
Oh.
in the Uintahs, and I estimated between 3 and 6 miles back intelligently because I wasn't sure where my body got flung, and I'm so flustered that, okay, then I look around and I remember, okay, I remember this deer was here, I remember this was here, I remember this is the trail I took, so I was like, okay, maybe it's close to 4, but that's fucking 4 miles. That's 4 miles. And I'm like, oh my God, and still I'm sliding down this damn hill. So I was like, okay, Jake, get down to there, and you got to get your pistol. You got to get your inReach. You got to get your, I have like a high powered radio that I have like an FCC license for just in case. I have the sat messaging on my phone. I've got everything for guiding for 2 people. I've got packs. I've got everything. I got med kits. But when the damn thing cartwheels you out of it, and it's all in my chest pack, just a bino pack, that's gone. The binos hit me in the face, flew off, couldn't even find those.
Oh, wow. So the chest rig you're wearing came off your body?
Oh, no, that stayed on there, but everything in it was just a yard sale. Gone.
Wow.
Even my rangefinder, gone. My wind checker, everything, just because my body just got bragged out. So whatever. I grab onto my broken leg because I keep falling down this hill. And I'm like, dude, just whatever, roll into it. So I just grabbed on my leg, and I kind of just rolled into a ball and just fell down this hill / cliff into the machine. And this might sound petty, but with all the wildfires going on and being a super passionate backwoods hunter, I was just, the machine was still running. Props to Polaris for having a machine that can do that. But I was like,
2-seater Razor side by side?
4-seater Razor.
4-seater. Okay, so a big side by side.
Yeah. So I get down and it's still running, and there's like gas. I can smell gas. So I'm like, I'm not going to be the dude that lights this forest on fire too.
Yeah.
So I go, I think I even flicked some of this creek water like on the gas, like whatever. And at some point I'm like, holy shit, whatever, just worry about your leg. Like, fuck it. It's in a creek bed. I doubt it's going to start on fire. And I'm like, okay, look for everything. Not a thing, man. Not even the roof was on the thing. The doors were off the thing. It had 1 wheel left. It didn't even have the bed on the side by side. It didn't even have seats in some of it. So I look in there. I'm like, okay, well, all this shit that like literally I've had forever. And I'm like the most prepared dude ever. Not one thing is there. And
Wow.
it made me think like, awesome. All
It
those
all got
gadgets,
flung out on
all
the
those
side of the
gadgets didn't
mountain.
mean a damn thing because it's like you
Yeah.
try to find an inReach that big in 3 feet of grass with a broken leg and 2 broken ankles.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm not. And I found one flashlight, of course, got smashed, wouldn't turn on. Um, my dog's there still thinking that like we're kind of hunting, but now I'm pretty vocal about it. It hurts so bad. I'm like yelling, I'm like, you have to go over these rocks. You have to go.
The adrenaline's wearing off.
Yeah. And
Pain's
you know how the
coming in.
Uintas are. There's deadfall everywhere. There's
Oh yeah,
boulders. So
yeah.
I'm going under, over, dragging myself, seeing my leg just like it's a flipper. So I get down there, whatever. I can't find anything. Okay, what's our next play? You got to get this leg fixed because I'm so worried now that it's just been dangling that it's gonna cut shit in the inside.
You're gonna
And
bleed out.
and I've been in gnarly accidents before, like car accidents, where I've had internal damage and not known about it, and then been in the hospital 2 days later, almost dying. So I'm like, okay, you're more hurt than you are. You probably don't even know it. Fix this leg. So thank God my mother's like an ICU nurse, and I have a couple friends that are ex-combat medics, and I always prick their brains when we're out hunting in this. And I have clients, that are phenomenal doctors. So everybody's taught me the simplest of stuff. So I was like, okay, splint this, dude. You know how to do this. Like, you're good. Part of the roll cage that broke off the side by side was laying in the creek. So I laid my leg on the side of that because it's the only straight thing you can fucking find out there. And snap my leg back so it's straight-ish. Um, Search for sticks. Way harder to find a stick that's 2 foot long. It doesn't just snap like that than you think. So I find one and put it on there, duct tape the bottom of it, duct tape the top of it, because I found this little 1/4 inch of duct tape left on this roll on my side by side, just by chance. Only thing I could find.
Wow.
Absolute strike of luck. And then that's all I had. I ran out of that, so I took my belt off and put it over the brake. And it was a cinch climbing belt, not a hook and loop. So I got to double wrap it and then cinch it, real good. So, okay, legs straight-ish, and it's not moving. So at that point, it's like 9:15. And it's like, you can still see, but in 10 minutes, I'm not going to be able to see. So I'm like, God, whatever. So I'm panicking. I won't lie, I'm panicking, and I'm just doing this. I'm doing reverse because I can't crawl. It's so steep down, I would just fall on my face. I'm panicking, and I'm just like, get out of here. Get to the trail. And by the time you get to the trail, you can kind of figure it out. And also, you'll be on a trail. It'll be way easier to move. And then my dog comes up to me, and he like kind of bumps me in the face. And I see this LED light on his collar. And I'm like, oh my God, come here, come here. I'm like, come here, heel. Like, he comes, he's like, what? And I grab his collar and I flick the light on. And dude, it's one of the hunting companies, like Sport Dog. It's the size of a quarter. And it's just so I can see him from a distance in low light when we're bird hunting.
Yeah.
And so he would heel as I'm like dragging myself out right next to me. And I would look behind me and his little light would show, okay, the next 10 feet. And we did that for 2 hours, maybe hour and a half to get out of the thick bush. And I finally get to a trail. And then when I get to the trail, I was like, okay, this dragging isn't working, man. I did the math in my head trying to confuse myself. I'm going 8 inches of drag, realistically. By the time I get there, the distance between that knee and where the knee goes next is about 8 inches. And there's 5,280 fucking feet in a mile. And I got 4 of them to go. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I start hearing coyotes yipping and all this shit. And I'm out there more than anybody. I know how many, there's cats out there. It's bear season. I just took a calf out of a bear trap. I'm a chicken nugget walking down this damn road. That's
Yeah.
what it felt like.
You feel very vulnerable.
Extremely vulnerable. And, I'm not really scared of anything out there. I feel actually super comfortable and natural in those deep woods. But when you're that compromised, it's like, I'm just waiting to hear that last 2 cat steps and fucking, and just I'm out. And it's like, at that point, you just accept it. And I was like, okay, well, how do we go faster? I got to get on my hands and knees. But my leg's like this, dragging, right? So no matter which way I flipped over, I had to like re-break that leg to get on my hands and knees and then pop it back some way to be able to drag it. Because you're not going to have your toes down. It's going to keep pushing on that brake. So it took me like 20 minutes to flip over, rearrange my leg, get on. As you can see, my knees a week later, they're almost okay. But knees and hands, okay, sweet. We get to the first creek crossing, and I was like, wow, I completely forgot about that shit. There's like 5 of them, 5 or 6 creek crossings. It's going to be 40 degrees at least tonight with the thermals coming down, ripping down this down this river creek bed. I can't get wet. I can't get wet. So every creek crossing, I'd have to stop and I'd have to like toss boulders to be able to hopscotch over or be able to do like reverse crab walk over. And okay, if that gets wet, it's okay. And it felt good when it got wet. I won't lie to you. Is it just when I would let that thing sit in that freezing cold water, like, oh,
Numbs
fuck.
it, numbs the pain a little
Yeah,
bit.
man. Oh, man, that was nice. But also, I was so dehydrated that I would sit there and I would drink out of this creek with my
Oh,
dog, and my dog and me are face to face drinking out of this thing. It's like, it's comical at that point, but it's like, oh my God, it was the best water I've ever had in my life, dude. You couldn't bottle that. I don't care if there was cow elk pissing in it 10 feet up there. It was the best one I've ever had in my
yeah,
life,
yeah,
dude. It was absolutely gorgeous, but it gives you rejuvenation too. And it's like, okay, I've got water, I've got a little more energy. And at that time, my ego takes over and I'm like, oh, it's probably like 3 hours, 2 hours. And I'm at the second or third creek crossing. Okay, we get over it. We get over it. Cool, awesome. And my dog starts to just get tired too. And I start to get to like like this stuff going on, like when you're like, oh shit, and I'm on all fours and I'm just starting to, I'm clearly losing it. And I'm like, come on, dude, come on. Like, your mind goes the weirdest places. And this is gonna sound odd, but I uh I have a niece and or no, they're my cousins, but they're young enough to feel like my niece and nephew. And I used to babysit them when they were super young. And the movie Finding Nemo was out. That movie, the original one, and that damn song that one fish sings, where it just keeps swimming.
yeah.
It pops in my head out of nowhere. Dude, in the middle of the mountains, crawling for my life, and the Finding Nemo song's in my head, and it made me laugh out loud. And I'm like, Jesus, well, you officially lost your mind. You're singing Finding Nemo, laughing out loud, crying in the mountains like by yourself. So at that point, I was like, oh my God, dude, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. My mind is starting to get weak. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna truck. And if my body falls out from underneath me, that's gonna be the thing. But whatever, dude, just keep going. And eventually my dog would start doing this thing where I can only go like 10 pumps at a time, 10 crawls. And then, like, even though I train hard as hell for guiding every day, running, lifting, exercising as hard as anybody can go, nobody trains the crawl. My shoulders keep popping out. Like this one, I have a bad right one. It just keeps every time. It's like, oh shit, like I don't know if I can do this, man. Like I keep giving up and then I keep going like, no, you got this. I keep giving, I can feel myself drifting, in a lot of ways. And my dog would sit down 10 feet in front of me and the light's in front of him and he's looking in front of me. So it gives me a 10-foot spot and I'm like, all right, sweet. And I would go there and I would be at the same level as like his butt, by the time I get to him, and I would nudge him and I'd take a break and he'd go 10, 15 more feet and he'd sit down.
So he was guiding you.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought he was tired.
Yeah.
But now in hindsight, it's like, oh my God, this little dog, he just knew. He knew somehow, man. I have no idea how. But then he would also zigzag like a bird dog and check on shit. And there was a couple times where he smelled something that was no bueno. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't know, like, come here. Like, come here. I basically just got him next to me. So it's like, I don't know. It sounds stupid, but I felt so obligated and it felt like it was my fault. He was out there and he was going to be lion bait that I started crawling with rocks. Because his like my hands aren't that beat up, and that's why it's because I grab rocks and instead of crawling like this, I would palm the rock, and go like that in case something pops up,
You at least have something to fight
something to
with.
bash something. I don't care. I don't know what it is or something to like, if something tackles my dog, I can at least smoke it in the head or something, dude. Just like it gave me a sense of security because that's all I don't have any weapons. Like I don't know if you've ever been close with cats, but I've been up close and personal with a ton, and you got no chance. You got
Yeah.
no chance. But in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like, I don't know, maybe while it's mauling me, I'll fucking smoke it or something, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it made me feel a little tougher and not like giving up. So if that was it, then that was it. Um, and then, dude, we just keep going, and I take breaks, and I'm like probably passed out once. And I remember coming to, and my dog's literally like cuddling with me, like for heat, I don't know if it's for him or for me. But when I woke up, he woke up and he starts walking. And now I realize like how crucial that fucking dog is, dude. Like he saved me basically, and he just kept like I wanted to give up. Like I'm not too tough to say that. Like, oh yeah, I had no problem. Like it was fucking terrible. It was terrible. I wanted to give up every time. But there's something in you that just goes like, okay, but what are you gonna do? You just gonna lay here? There's not gonna be another hunter like me for 7 days. So you're just gonna lay here and die here and just hope somebody else does your job. You're the one that fucked up. You're the one that crashed. It's your leg that's broken. It's your dog. You got to get out of here.
These are things you're saying to yourself in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry, it makes me a little. You know, you get real tough on yourself. But then transfer that into like fuck you, man. Let's go. You know? Sorry, man. It's just still so
Don't be
real.
sorry, man. If you were in that ATV, if you were in that side by side, and that thing snatched you back and it didn't fling you out, you'd be dead.
I'd be in 5 pieces, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then you get out, you get flung out. Let me ask you a question. I thought about this when you were talking about running across that elk. When you went and you interacted with that elk, when you came out of the vehicle, did you have your seatbelt on before?
What's that?
Did you have your seatbelt on at any time?
No, I purposely don't because of this,
So you
because
bail.
I've heard horror stories of people getting,
Yeah.
great, your seatbelt's awesome, but no, it's not awesome when you're
It's
just
happened
banging
a lot
against.
in Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually, I think, out of all the states, Utah is one of the worst because of the terrain.
Yeah, there really should be an impact sensor that releases your belts. I've always thought that.
100%.
You know what I mean? If you smoke the roof, clearly you're not going to need your belt on. Like if there's an impact sensor or a yaw sensor or something like they have in a vehicle where it pops them out, cool. But if I had that on, straight up, I'd still be out there. And my mother would be flying in, talking to my friends, going like, hey, do you know where he is? And they'd be pinging my phone. I'd be so dead. So dead.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to think about.
Well,
that.
even the thought of you having the reaction, a lot of people don't have that reaction. A lot of people's reaction would be grab the steering wheel and then get rigid.
Yeah.
And that will kill them faster.
Yeah, right. And but just out of experience and knowing people that have gone through kind of similar things and being in a car crash that's like rolled, it's like, dude, that's a death trap. Get out.
Get out as quick as possible.
Yeah, like whatever. You might fall and you might roll and get all kinds of brush burns and bruises, but all I have is a broken leg and broken ankles and ribs. All I have is that. I didn't even hit my head. That is an absolute another miracle, which couldn't tell you how. Maybe I just got a super hard head, but one time smoking off of one of those steel roll bars, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then I'm just laying in there. Dead. There's like 99 out of 100 ways I could be dead, and this is the one way it ended up, and I wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like God put that elk in front of you for some reason. I'm thinking about timing.
I have no idea
There's
why.
something divine about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty significant.
Very wild, and it just stared at me too for a while.
His mama wasn't around, obviously.
Nope. And I have the video of it too, where I'm looking at it like, you're supposed to be scared of me. Like it was a good 30 seconds where it was just like looking at me like, hey, and I was like, what's up? Like,
So
run, you know? But yeah, it was very odd, out of the blue. I've been on that turn 100 times. Never seen that happen. Never seen it trapped there. Nothing. Very, very weird how it happens that time. But
so you're going and you're moving, and I imagine one of the reasons you're getting sleepy, but it's also cold, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the temperature swings here 40, 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Correct. And everybody's like, it's the summer and that, and 2 miles away, maybe in a nice open clearing, it's like an even 55 at night, something like that. But the thermals rip down, and I'm in a creek bed, so it's like probably 40s. Every time I stop, I shiver and I feel myself locking up. And it's like, okay, you got like 9 ways to die. Just keep going. You cannot stop. So with the rocks, we keep going. I crossed 2 or 3 of the major creek beds, which are like more like streams. They're probably a foot deep.
Do you have a watch on?
No.
Nothing, huh?
And it's a hell of a reason to buy one of those.
Yeah.
My mother joked around like you would have just got your wrist cut off if you had a watch on, because I had such bad luck. But I mean, that might be the wave of the future, because it can connect to your inReach.
Yeah.
That maybe would have done something to me. But even then, I'm in this mile deep canyon. I doubt anything would have, I would have had to wait 12 hours for somebody to get there anyways. So I wasn't stopping. I wasn't even going to wait. Even if I did call somebody, I still would have started crawling. But
so you didn't have an understanding of time.
Zero.
Yeah.
But then I get to the 5th creek crossing, and I was like, okay, sweet, there's one more.
Oh, so you're using those as like checkpoints.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sweet, there's one more, and now I have to go uphill, maybe about 100 or 2 vertical feet over the next mile, and it drops me down into a plateau or a valley. And then this meadow has my truck in it, and that's where my truck and trailer are. And all of a sudden I look up to this to the trail in front of me, and dude, there's a light coming at me, and I'm like, that looks like a monster spotlight on a huge truck. Holy shit, maybe it's somebody. Maybe it's somebody. It's daylight. It's the sunlight coming over it, and I'm just so fucked up and delirious. I didn't realize it's the sun coming up. And I just paused there, and I just was like, no fucking way. No way it's been that long. And like,
So no understanding of time. At this point, you've gone how many hours? 10, 11?
I've gone about 10 at that point, because I wrecked around 8:30ish, and I know it's time it gets light out, and I was like, man, it's gotta be 6:30 right now, but if I can see the horizon. And then I was like, oh my God. And okay, I get another half mile, and it's full blown light out. Like, okay, well, at least I'm gonna be able to see shit coming after me now. That's good, cool. The cats aren't as active in this light. The coyotes aren't active for shit. I feel a lot better. I got to get to this truck and get out of here, because this is now swollen so bad that it's pushing on the duct tape, and it started to pop the duct tape. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to lose this leg. At that point, I was like, whatever, dude. And I joke around about it to my friends, but I just started thinking about, all right, sweet, I can have like a flipper on my leg. I can have all kinds of cool accessories and shit when I lose this leg, whatever. And I started crawling and thinking like, I'll make whatever. I'm going to make it a cool thing, and I'm going to be a better hiker.
I'm gonna be
whatever.
on podcast with Mike Glover, man. We're gonna be doing survival stuff.
You know that, yeah, like I never thought of any. I was just trying to keep my mind off of it, and I see my truck. Sweet, keep going, and God, it just feels like it's so closer than it is, and it's not, and it's not.
So you see it. You're into a clearing where you see your truck.
Yeah, in a distance, and
That's got to be a huge morale boost.
absolutely amazing.
The adrenaline you must have got.
Yeah, because now I'm
back.
like, holy shit, you can actually get out of here. You can get out of here, and I can see way far in the distance. There's a road, and I'm like, you can get out of here, dude. We're not dead yet. Like, this is awesome. Like, I feel okay. And the sun hits me, and oh my God, the sun felt so good. A little bit of vitamin D, man. I was like, fucking, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here.
What was your dog's demeanor at this point?
He was psyched, because we're in a meadow now, and he's basically checking for birds. And I'm smiling ear to ear, because I'm like, I'm actually going to get the fuck out of here. And I don't care how painful this is. I'm getting to my thing, and I'm healing him. I just keep yelling, heal. He comes back. He checks on me, and he goes in front of me. He checks on me. Another hour goes by, and I get to that truck.
So an hour from the time you saw it,
Yeah.
to the time you get it, you're
It's
like,
probably 500 yards, man, but it is so much rock.
that seems like so far away.
I
Though,
know.
crawling.
But it seems so close, because I can see it. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, it's right there.
Mm.
I get there. Unfortunately, I had a trailer on, and I'm like, okay, do the math here. Is it easier for you to undo all the shit on the trailer, get it cleaned up, and drag the trailer out, or unhitch it on your knees? And I was like, unhitch it. So I pop it off, and I just shoulder the bitch off, and I just grab the bed of the truck, okay, climb up, open the door, get the dog in, open my door, get my ass in first, drag my legs in, cool. And luckily, hopefully nobody ever finds me hunting, and now they know my secret. But I always have this joke guiding where I leave my keys hidden somewhere around the truck. I say, if I die, you can have the truck,
Yeah.
And thank God, because I couldn't find anything.
They wouldn't, yeah.
I wouldn't have had the keys. And oh my God, it was like,
Always leave it with near the truck.
yeah, I've never been in so much pain and smiling at the same time. Like, yes, I got these keys. This is awesome. I start the truck, sweet. I start driving out the trail, and I drive to like the nearest public, road, whatever, get there, rip down that thing, but I can't go too fast because it's bouncing my leg. So like 20, 25 minutes, I get into like the town of like Oakley, over like,
Yeah.
just going to wherever I think I can find civilization, because there was probably closer places, but it's a Monday morning at like 7:30 I got to my truck. So total was 11 hours from wreck to truck. And I got to Oakley around 8ish, and there's this young girl like washing a table outside of a diner. And I just go, like, ma'am, can you call 911 for me and tell me if it's closer for me to drive to the nearest hospital, or if they can get to me here? Also, where's the nearest hospital?
She said you were like the kindest man, or kindest.
Yeah, well, I was like, I don't want to freak this chick out, and this is super odd. I know it's probably really odd. What
You
she's
pull up in a truck and you're like, can you call the police?
And she questioned me too, because it was odd. She goes, can I see it? And I was like, I fling the door open. She sees my leg. She's like, okay. She calls, and she happened to be a nursing student, dude, and she just absolutely snapped into action, got them there, got them on the phone with me, and they were there like within 5 minutes, cutting my pants off and everything, and hooking me up to an IV. And, I was just like, guys, just please help me. am I gonna have my leg? Am I gonna have my leg? Like I'm just so at that point, you're just running on fumes. And I was like, I was almost passing out, and I kept telling the guys, like, I don't feel great, dude. Like, you might lose me here in a minute. And I'm just kind of like this. And he's like, yo, you're good, dude. You're safe now. And like, that just no better feeling.
And then yours out.
Yeah. And then they take me to the hospital, keep in and out.
Are you
And
feeling pain at this point? Because imagine it wore off, but
halfway through the night, it got so bad. That's why I wanted to give up. It got so bad. Like, I don't care how much adrenaline you have. After about 6 hours, it ended up being, it's gone.
it's gone.
It's
Yeah.
gone. And it is every rock you touch, every little thing that moves that leg, and I could hear it. And I'm a very, visual, audible guy, and when I hear my bone, it's like, I just wanted to, dude, fuck that.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Clothing
Uh,
wise?
I had a shirt exactly like this. Then I had just a light sun hoodie, super light. And then I actually had like Kuyu attack pants on, and that was it. And
Well,
thank
QU
God,
needs to sponsor you for life.
dude. We sent them an email just thanking them. I don't want a damn thing. I need them to know that my knees would be 100 times worse. They didn't even put holes in those pants. 4 miles of
Wow.
crawling. And a dragon didn't put holes in the back. Like, they saved literally my ass and knees. They make a damn
Wow.
good product. I have no affiliation, but wow. Thank
So
you,
your
Kuyu.
pants were on the whole time. So
Yeah.
you weren't able to see the legitimate damage underneath
No.
your pants.
Nope. I could feel it. And you could
Wow.
see some blood coming through. But I also did not want, I was hoping it wouldn't become a compound fracture, because as much as I screwed with that leg, I was worried it was going to pop out. And I just couldn't deal with that. So yeah, I kept the pants on. I covered my hands up too. I'm like, don't even look, dude. Don't even look. Don't look in your mirrors either. I didn't look at shit when I was driving. Just get there. Just get there. And actually, when I got there, one of the paramedics is like, wow, somebody's got to take a picture of you. And I was like, wow, that bad, dude.
They're like texting each other,
And
like,
then,
look at this dude.
yeah, one guy goes like, you look like a caveman. And I was like, I was like, whatever, dude. I got out. So
What's the diagnosis of all the injuries? Walk me through the.
two like fractured ankles, left fib and tib were broke, and like
You got a gnarly scar.
yeah, that was from because they had to jam a rod. So they cut open here and they put a huge rod through the entire bone, then a plate here, plate down there with screws, and that was the major surgery. Possibly I might need ankle surgery soon, but we're gonna see how this heals up first. Then
You're
get the
healing
ankle.
fast, man. You look good. I mean, you're like. I
I'm
mean,
not
you
missing
came
the
in here-
season. I'm not
Yeah.
missing the season.
Oh, you're
I'm
trying to
getting
get back in
Oh
the-
hell yeah, I'm not missing the season. People aren't too happy about that, but no, thank you. I can't sit on the couch and just wish I was out there.
Yeah.
I'll crawl if I have to, whatever.
You've prepped the whole year for it.
The whole year.
Yeah, the whole year.
And I'm gonna go find that deer.
Wow. So, what's the prognosis? You'll make a full recovery eventually.
Yes, they said like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm hoping to bump that down to September 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the overall experience, it was 11 hours
Yeah.
crawling on your butt with your dog. What kind of dog do you got, by the way?
German Shorthaired Pointer.
It's a bird dog,
Mm-hmm.
trained bird dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's 6 years old and he's borderline a service dog. He hand commands all that stuff. He's extremely well trained. I've spent every second with him since I got him, guiding and hunting. So
Yeah.
we're about as mated as it gets. Yeah.
What do you think you would have survived without that dog?
No. And it's uncomfortable for me to admit this, but if I would have realized that if I would have killed him and then I got down there and I realized that he's just a bag of bones in his kennel, I wouldn't have crawled out. I would have found my pistol, and I would have. He's my little boy. I know it sounds childish because he's not a human, but it's like I have such a connection. He's my life.
Yeah.
If I would have killed that dog because there was some stupid little left when I should have made it right,
Couldn't live with yourself.
couldn't have lived with myself. Thank God.
He popped out. So that kennel, he was in his kennel in the back of the Razor
Mhm.
in that little trunk setup,
Yeah.
and it opened while it was flipping and launched him out. Right?
It's an Orvis like fabric kennel. You know what I mean? So it's not a metal one.
Yeah.
So thank God it's just zippered with mesh.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping he either pushed out through a zipper or it just flew his body out on the first or second throw through one of the mesh.
And if it was contained and locked down, he'd be gone.
Gone.
Did you recover the Razor yet? Is it still
Yeah,
out there?
it's almost unrecognizable. Yeah.
Wow. Did you find all your stuff?
Most of it, yeah. All the important stuff and the guns and all that we got off the land, but I can't find the inReach. I can't find a radio. It's like, I can only imagine, like, just take all your shit and just throw it as hard as you can.
It could be in a tree.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I found my spotter suite, the main stuff to keep me for the season. But yeah, packs. I can't even find a full size backpack out there. Isn't that wild? Like it stuff is
Fully
so
loaded bag.
so far thrown. Walking sticks, can't find them. I mean, it probably, I estimate it's 150 feet. It probably went, and I had to roll 15, 20 times. And by the end, it's rolling, dude. Like,
Jeez.
I'll never forget that terrible noise. That sucked.
You so basically you were only left with what you had on your body, on your
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yeah.
What if you had to take it back and you just looking at circumstance? It's funny is like everybody just learns profound lessons when it's the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
They have to go through it and then they go, okay, I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Mm-hmm.
But I always hope that when people listen to this, they go, oh, maybe that could happen to me.
Yeah.
And maybe if I just follow a couple lessons learned.
Yeah.
What I know you thought about this. What are some of the lessons learned that you think would have facilitated a better outcome for you?
Definitely put your ego and experience away and tell a checkup system. Because it doesn't matter how, I don't care. I've been doing this my entire life. I've been guiding almost a decade. Even me, this happens to, as experienced as it gets. Tell somebody where you're going to be when you're going to be there, and have a checkpoint
Because
where,
you didn't do that.
no, because I'm just so used to it.
Yeah,
I
you're
hunt
used to rolling
24/7
out.
alone. Everything
Yeah.
I do,
You don't have a wife,
no,
girlfriend?
no, and I just 24/7 alone, and then I work my business and hunting. That's all I do, 24/7.
Yeah.
So I'm a very like independent dude, and I don't really rely on anybody or
Sounds kind of
anything.
lonely, Jake. I don't know. That sounds like that ICU nurse was kind of cute.
Yes,
With
I know. Yeah,
that
single.
student nurse. She lit up when
I
she
know.
talked about you too. I was just gonna say that we should
Yeah.
put that on the
Yeah, maybe this
podcast.
will change my loneliness, but it works out well if you want to start a business. You really got to focus, but it's definitely a little lonely.
It
but
is lonely.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just ignorant to think that you can do everything alone. And it's not that I was going out there like a tough guy, but I never even thought about it. Like have some sort of buddy system, just your best friend or something, somebody, an aunt, an uncle, I don't care, anybody, somebody that's like, hey, 10 p.m. If I don't get a text from you, I'm gonna wait till 11 until I'm coming to find you. And I do
Just
that
a little
guide.
check-in.
Yeah, I do that guiding every single day with a bunch of the guys, but I wasn't. I was on my own scout and just having a good time. Always, always, when you're anywhere, like if it's so far back, basically do that math. You break your leg somewhere and you probably are gonna die because you can't get back. Have the buddy system.
Yeah.
If you're in your backyard shooting your bow, obviously you don't got to tell somebody when you're coming in. But if you're going miles and miles back to find these beautiful, amazing areas and these awesome animals, it's dangerous. It is dangerous even if you're 100% healthy. I don't care. It's dangerous.
Well, you had a primary plan of having your in reach until it became your emergency plan where you didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
You're like, this is the thing that everybody has. It's required. And then it's flung into the wood line where you haven't even found it.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
Things that you teach in that, like personal survival, discipline, and like a field craft where it's like, imagine you have to do everything with nothing. Like, dude, if you don't have the buddy system too, that's your first thing. But even then, somebody's gonna have to come in and get you. It's still gonna take a little while. You won't die because of that. But to answer your question, I would do that. Tuck your ego down and tell your friends, like, hey, if I have an accident out here, I screw up, and I don't call you by 10 p.m., please be worried about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
nobody knew. Mama didn't know. Nobody in the
there was
family knew.
people, was one of my best friends was 2 miles away camping. Mm-hmm.
It would have been a closer crawl to him than it would have been.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it was like, well, yeah, who knows how many miles, but it was over and over. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
He was over like 2 ridges in this public campground, and like, son of a bitch.
Do you know how many miles that you moved?
I think it was 3.6
Wow.
total.
Every year on the anniversary, you should crawl with your dog 3.6 miles.
I'm gonna need some knee pads from you.
You can do a track. We'll let you do a track and just do round robin.
There you go. I know. Yeah.
What about equipment wise? Because I know you had just mentioned that like the pants that you were wearing probably saved your legs, which is a huge component, right? Like what you wear is a big deal. Even the belt that you're wearing. What were some of the things that you're wearing that worked for you, and what would you have changed about your stuff that was on person that was touching your skin, if anything?
Unfortunately, I was wearing a cotton shirt like this, and that's like a big no-no. You know, I'd wear a synthetic or a
But you're in your
merino.
razor, your air
Right,
conditioned,
I know.
heated.
Literally, I got windows to roll down, dude. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like, I almost had flip flops on. I wasn't that much of an ass, but God forbid I would have. But yeah, I was wearing this, and I was wearing like a non-synthetic sun, shirt or something like that. And
Did it have a hoodie?
yeah,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
don't even think I was. I was so comfortable with it. I didn't even pack an extra hoodie.
Mm.
I didn't even pack. I'm sure I had rain gear in there. I probably had rain gear, but thank God that's another thing I got lucky. No actual storms or anything, but my rain gear was in my pack that was strapped to the roof that literally blew off the damn side by side.
What shoes and socks were you wearing?
I was wearing actually pretty good Solomon's, and then I think it's actually Kuyu socks. I was wearing Kuyu merino underwear. Like I guess I'm a walking advertisement for them, but shit, man, the merino stuff kept me just warm enough. I was so worried to start shivering and have that hypothermia and it start locking up, but it kept me there.
Merino wool's key.
Yeah, people think it's just like it's the only thing that is not a gimmick that I think over the whole millions of gimmicks we got in the hunting world,
It's not a
merino wool
gimmick.
is
Yeah,
for real. Just get it.
I'm
Yeah,
about to get some merino sheep, and we're gonna
there you go.
spool them out. Probably about 4 of them just to get some
Wow, that's cool.
stuff
Yeah,
made.
that's awesome.
Your shoes stayed on your feet.
Yeah,
That's
couldn't believe.
impressive because I
I
would have
know.
thought you got blown out of your shoes.
No, they were. I actually they were low ankle, but
Were they that? Did they have the little pull
yeah,
thing, the slip? Oh, I
yeah.
wonder if that's why they stayed on.
Maybe I don't know. They weren't even tied that tight, and they were on there. But thank God they were, dude. Because oh my God, with no shoes either.
Dude, it would have been brutal.
I had just enough to get out. And that's kind of what, I've been in a lot of weird accidents and sketchy accidents, but this is one where it's like, I'm not even that angry about the side by side. I'm so psyched I'm here.
Yeah.
That was bonkers how just that gut wrenching feeling of seeing my leg and going like, well, okay, fuck, this is how I die. And people are going to find my just eaten body out here in maybe 7 to 10 days. And I was like, okay, well, you die here. And it's like, no, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like you have just, it's so mental. The mental strength is also another thing other than a buddy system. You got to be prepared to handle your own shit. I was my worst enemy out there. Worst enemy.
We'll talk about that because I think that's a huge component because it sounds like even as you tell the story yourself, it sounds like a lot of those things are physiologically affecting you right now.
Oh yeah.
Which obviously that's how trauma works and it will continue to impact you for years to come.
Yeah.
Lastly, on the clothing stuff, what belt were you wearing?
It was a Kuyu belt.
A Kuyu belt.
Yeah. But they make a climbing one that's a feed through loop. So it tightens to, a 30-inch waist to a 40-inch waist.
And it locks in.
Yeah, and I use that sometimes for dumb stuff to wrap around my pack. If I put meat in and I have no extra straps,
Yeah.
big belt, sweet, awesome. It works for everything.
Wow.
And that's what I double wrapped and then cinched around my leg.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Because if it was any type of other traditional belt, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because it wouldn't lock it in place.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I know.
What were the name of the Kuyu pants that you had?
Attack pants.
The attack pants.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy those tonight. Hopefully with a coupon code from
Yeah,
emailing Kuyu.
Yeah, there you go.
What if anything would you have put on your body in hindsight just in this circumstance? Was there anything, would you have carried a fanny pack just because it's tethered to you?
Garmin watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Pair
huge,
it up to
right?
my inReach.
Wow.
That way, if my inReach is 20 feet away in the ground, I don't need it. I can pair up and just sweet. I didn't
Yeah.
even know about that until about 3 days ago when my friend was like, man, I wish you had one of those. And I was like, yeah, but like, I don't want to text you. And he goes, it pairs to your inReach, dude. It's Garmin. And I was like, what a dumbass. Like, it's made by
Yeah.
Garmin. Why wouldn't it do
You can
that?
activate from your
Oh,
phone.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I would have had that.
Yeah, I think that's a profound lesson learned, and we teach it when we talk about overland and motorcycle stuff. Because if you're flung off a motorcycle in the backcountry
Mm-hmm.
and you're laying in the fetal position, well, what you have on you is going to be the most immediate actioned equipment.
Correct. Yeah.
If it's laying at the bottom of a canyon 200 feet because your bike rolled off the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
or
Oof.
UTV.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah. You're in a rough spot then.
Let's talk mental, because it sounds like you went through a profound journey,
Yeah.
full circle.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you had expectations that you were going to be good at, and you don't feel that you were resilient enough?
That's a good question, actually. I thought I was a little mentally tougher. I'm not afraid to admit that. I thought I would be able to just like, whatever, feed through the pain and just keep going nonstop. I had to stop 100 times, 100 times just to psych myself up. Like at the beginning, I was like, whatever, dude, you're going to lose the skin on your knees. It's going to grow back. Who gives a shit? But when the skin's off your knees and you got the broken leg and the ankles, and now that I'm like, oh man, something's having my ribs and now my shoulder keeps popping out, it just got overwhelming. And if anything, I thought I was mentally stronger. I'm not scared to admit that. I thought I was a little more of a badass, and I thought I'd just, let's get out of here, covered in blood, I'd be fine. But I was on the verge of tears half the time, dude. It's excruciating, and it's pitch fucking black. That adds just such a thing that like you can't see this. My dog wasn't there. I
No
saw him.
loom, no
Nothing.
loom. Yeah.
Man, and it just gets you in your head. So it's like when you're in your bed, just laying there in the pitch black, and you just go, your mind wanders. It's the same shit. But my mind wandered, and I was just disappointed that I don't know. I'm sure every man thinks he's a steel trap, but when you get out there, you're not. And I'm proud of myself that I was maybe a tinfoil trap, just strong enough. But my mind had a hard time, and I thought I wasn't gonna have that hard of a time mentally.
What are some of the things that you said psych yourself up, and you talked about a couple of those things, but profoundly, what were the things that you were leaning on to keep you in it?
I really wanted to go to bed. I know that sounds so simple. But man, I just wanted to lay down. I
You wanted
wanted
to
to
sleep.
go to bed so bad, and my body kept doing that thing where you feel like you're falling and you get jolted. Oh, so much. It's like painful. And then I'm driving and I'm just smacking the shit out of myself because I was like, God, I'm just so like I'm about to pass out, but I'm so tired. That's one thing. But the other thing is just like I know I have 2 bottles of water in that truck. And the last creek crossing was about half a mile. And I'm like this at that point, like, oh, I am so dehydrated. So between those two like materialistic type things, it was really nice to get back there. But also, it's like, uh, I just didn't want to die like a bitch. I know that sounds egotistical, also, but I just didn't want to like have somebody drive down that road one day and just see me crippled up there, and that's it. And that's how they find me, and they know none of this story. They know nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that being how I went out. Like I just didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's ego, and maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I just kept psyching myself out to like, nah, like this ain't that bad. This ain't that bad.
When you thought about bed, you thought about the water, you thought about these things that you were holding on to. At any point, were you thinking about people that you loved?
Well, yeah, that was the last thing. It's like I felt because my mother lives on the East Coast, and most of my family lives. Everybody in my family lives on the East Coast except for like a couple cousins that live out here. So I know I have family back home that not only my hunting group back home, I text them about scouting, and everybody, we have a group chat where everybody's talking about everything, and I know they hadn't heard from me in a while, and they always expect to see good or bad or ask me pictures or this and that because I'm always out looking, and everybody likes to see the pictures. So I knew at one, okay, they're starting to probably get a little fishy because by the time I got to the truck, it was already 9 a.m. So at 4 a.m., it's 6 a.m. there. They're already waking up wondering why they probably don't have a text for me. So in the pitch black, that kind of came into my head where I was like, shit, my mom is freaking out. And my buddies are probably just like, itchy palms and don't want to like text me like, hey man, are you okay? Because they don't want to insult me. But it's like I should have already had them waiting to text me, and I felt bad about that then. That's when I realized like, Jesus, dude, like why I don't know why I was so hard headed and do everything alone, and it made me go intrusive into my head again. But it made me just be like, okay, I owe it to those people to get out of here too, an explanation.
Mm,
I don't want them to just be all of a sudden I ghost them, and then the last conversation I had with him, whatever it was about, that's the last one.
mm.
So I got to get the hell out of here and talk to these people, and I felt really like embarrassed, like a coward that I had crashed, and I felt just so I don't know. I hated myself in a weird way, and I was like, okay, well, if you're not gonna hate yourself, let's get the fuck out of here. That was kind of a lot of it.
So you're fighting with yourself mentally
Oh yeah,
this entire time.
bad.
That was like 10, 11 hours of just a campaign.
Yeah, yeah. God, that was a long time, man.
You when you when you look back at what you could have done before, it's hard to teach and build resilience what could you have done mentally to get more resilient?
Well, I don't know. And I don't know if in that point, maybe I'm just a little too hard on myself, but I went back to even like, I used to wrestle a ton in high school and that, and you beat the hell out of yourself to make weight sometimes and that was only the reason. Like I went back to that a lot, and I was like, just pretend you're trying to cut weight, and and you'd wear like as a teenager you'd be wearing a garbage bag trying to sweat out weight, and it taught you such crazy discipline that I was like, oh, where's that kid? Like go back to that high school kid, 17, cutting 10 pounds a week, like get back to that dude. And I did, and I feel like I run a lot and I do a lot of hard exercising on purpose, but I feel like maybe if I bumped that up a tad and didn't just maintain, because I have a lot of, everybody calls it what, like the inner person or whatever. My inner person always like, oh, this is a good enough workout for today. Like it was the same as yesterday, but I think I need to push myself a little more, especially if I'm going to these crazy backwoods places and taking these crazy risks. Maybe uh, 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 my what do you call maintain workout is a little bit of an excuse. Maybe I need to push myself harder and have that mental strength if I'm going to put myself in the areas like this to have that kind of accident. Like when I was in the heat of wrestling and stuff like that, when you're in the heat of like all kinds of sports competing, you're just so sharp. And I feel like I don't have that rigorous competition in my life anymore. And maybe that's why I wasn't as sharp. And guiding is still competitive and, but I used to do other things like shoot the PRS, long range and wrestle. And I used to do so much competition sports and stuff that I feel like I have to get back. That's a way I could prepare more, is getting back to that mindset of just a steel trap mind where you have a goal and it's like, you got to accomplish that and there's no excuses. And it's like, okay, just like I go back to the wrestling. It's okay. You got to make 171 pounds this week and you're 179. That's a distinctive goal. And I'm not stopping until I get there, but like, I'm just so lackadaisical and, I'm a little older now and it's like life is a little more comfortable, and it just made me a little softer, I guess I would say. And, I feel like a bitch saying that, but if I was just a little more mentally exercised in super hard shit. Not like, oh, go run a mile, like, beat the hell out of yourself is where I got to get myself to the point now. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I take those crazy backcountry hunts as my hobby. But I feel like if I was in, wrestling mode, I would have got out of there maybe 2 hours quicker, and I wouldn't have, but life is what it is. And I mean, fuck, like, I'm sure you know how it is. Like I have so many things going on and trying to run a business and then trying to guide and then like, and then friends, family, everybody has their own story and obligations and everything going on that nobody's first obligation is to be like, oh, I want to be mentally tough in case I almost die in the woods. We all have a ton of shit going on, but if you're going to take those risks, you got to be truly prepared for it. And that's where now I know that that's a big thing. Like you can be as physically in shape as you want, but mentally was my problem out there. Way more.
That's interesting, man. That's good that you're super honest about that. I don't think you were weak at all. I think it's complacency, right? You get comfortable in
Correct.
routine.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
then when you're an alpha in your world, welding, backcountry guiding, I see the Deseret guides and I'm like, boys, this isn't guiding. Like
Right.
this is, you guys got it made, right? We're rolling up on UTVs. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty well made. And some of those guys I've had conversations with, and they're like, yeah, man, this isn't like how I started out.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
the more successful they've gotten more complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need that good reset. And sometimes it comes in the inconvenience of being like a crossroad in your life,
Yes.
a
Yes.
survival situation,
And
right?
it's so comfortable you don't realize it's happening.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. And yeah, I mean, I think I was definitely strong enough to get out of there. And I'm by no means I don't hate myself anymore. But like I said, if I wouldn't have let up and I wouldn't have got complacent with that kind of drive, that kind of expectations of my own mind and my own strength mentally, I would have been better off. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You would have survived because you're physically so capable that you can get away with a lot.
Yes.
And you would have got away with it, but under different circumstances, even somebody listening to this who's not even taking it seriously because they don't work out, they don't backcountry guide, they're
Yeah.
on a UTV, they flip it upside down, they'll just die.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like get the physical thing out of the way too. Yeah. Like I'm in great shape. It's about to be the season. So I'm in great, phenomenal cardio shape, all that. But mentally, no one thinks about that shit. No one thinks about that. And I sure didn't. I'm not mentally weak, but I definitely could be stronger. And there ain't no weights to lift for that. That's the thing, is like everybody goes to the gym and you know what you lifted last week and you're like, sweet, I'm doing 5, 10 more pounds this week. We're making progress. But up here, you don't know shit. There's no weights. There's no scale. There's nothing. And until you get into that situation, you're really not going to know where you were at. And I was lifting a little less weights than I thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, extremely hard to change that in someone's life, but that's something that I'm going to work on, I guess. Knowing that I'm physically capable of it, I just got to get the other end to match up.
So let's kind of navigate that. So one of the things you're saying is do harder shit
Yeah.
more often.
Yeah. Because like, if you're going to sit, if you have a desk job and you go home and you eat chips and you do nothing every single day, and then you want to go out on a Saturday, drive 4 miles out and then hike 10 miles out to find a deer. First of all, you're probably not even be able to do that part. But what if you get hurt back there? You're fucked. You're fucked. But I like to do that shit. I really like to do that, and in those distances. So I expect to be physically in shape for that. And if you're not, then you don't screw around then. It gets real dangerous. Like, you got to have a base level of belonging out there. Like, so you just don't belong out there. It's not like an insult, but it's like, respect the land and the shit that you're going to run into, because it's going to kill you.
God, man, I've been thinking about your situation since I saw this news story, and I'm like, man, this kid's so lucky.
Very. Yeah.
So lucky. But it's also, it's not even luck, because a lot of the things that you did because of grit. I mean, not many people, most people, and I teach people all over the world, most people would have stayed in that ditch and waited for help.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even thought, well, somebody's going to obviously come save me.
Oh, fuck.
And they would have just waited, and they would have died. They would have died of exposure, more likely.
Correct. Yeah.
Or if they had a significant enough injury, they would have bled out and just died.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yelling help at that point, I was like, I know everybody that's going to be out here, was out here, is out here. Like, when I panicked for a bit and I was like, okay, we'll just scream for help. My voice ain't even going to make it over this canyon. And if it did, there's nobody there.
Conserve your energy.
Yeah. So I was like, don't even fuck around. Immediately attack. Worst case scenario, get out of here. I wasn't going to sit there and like, oh, am I going to flag down a helicopter? There's no chance. No chance. And I just have dog shit luck as it is. So nobody's going to come find me. Some hiker isn't just going to be like, hey,
Well, technically, this is the luckiest circumstance ever.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that could have went wrong.
Absolutely. So I say that, but I have the best luck in the worst situations is what it ends up being.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't have that thought at all, where I was like, man, I can't wait till somebody come gets me. Immediately, I was like, I don't know if I can make it out of here, but I'm going to take a shot at it.
Yeah.
So
action. You got to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. So what's next for you?
Healing up, really trying not to be, an asshole and go too fast, too far. Get this thing to heal up right, and get back to my clients, in September, when I start going back to the outfit and start guiding, and get back to life, man. Put this behind me and just keep my business running and make this not be a bad thing, but a positive thing.
How, if you could define kind of like and narrate how it's changed you, because I know you're technically in the middle of change, right? It's changing.
Right.
But if you had to kind of line out how it's changed you, what's that perspective?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that, because I've just been wrestling with that. And that side by side, everybody knows they're not cheap. And especially like just moving here, just starting a business, like, it was hard for me to squeak out that kind of cash and get this thing paid off. And then I had it. And then in my mind, my petty, like, younger man mind that, everybody grows out of, I'm real pissed that I lost it. I see it as a monetary loss, and I see it as like, okay, that's a huge loss to my guiding business, and not only like a literal monetary loss, but like, it's harder to guide out of a truck sometimes than it is to guide out of a side-by-side. And then this accident has pushed me so far to being psyched that I'm not dead, that I'm okay with, like, everybody always says like, oh, it's just money, it's just things. Up until that day, I didn't agree with that because they're like, just things. Yeah, people with money say it's just things. You know, rich people say it's just things.
Yeah.
Until that day where I was like, holy fuck, it's just things. Because it's just things. My life isn't just a thing.
But before that, you thought it was
Before
like
that,
the
I was like,
world.
yeah, I was like, kiss my ass, you guys. You don't understand. I lost like so much money. And
Yeah.
now I'm like,
Who
I
cares?
finally got to that point. Maybe it's growing up, but this changed me officially to be like truly happy that I'm not dead. Actually happy.
Appreciate what you got.
Could give a shit about
Yeah.
that side by side.
Yeah.
You know, I see it with a smile now because it's just wild that I'm not a dead body inside of it. You know, maybe it took this accident to grow as a man like that, but I could give a shit about that. I'm psyched to be alive, to be honest.
That's a really good growth metric.
Yeah, yeah.
I think about it all the time with all the shit that I have in the back. Like these are my kids' cards because I mean I have them because I know I'm going to give them to my kids one day and we're building memories in them. But if my entire material world burned to the ground and I still had my family, my 4 kids, and my spouse, I'd be good with that.
Yeah, and it's just a saying, but you know, forever I was just like, yeah, you don't realize how much I care about my shit, my stuff, my things. And now I don't.
Wow.
Wild. Yeah, but
your dog lived. I mean,
that, oh my God, dude. Yeah, it's like
you better breed that dog.
He's getting T-bones for the rest of his life, dude. Elk steaks forever.
He needs to be sponsored by QU Dog Treats or something.
Yeah, right, I know. Oh, man, yeah. So huge change of perspective. I'm glad you asked me that because it's something that is super positive that came out of this. You know,
what about your relationship with your mom, God, any of that? Has any of that changed in your mind?
I'm not real religious at all.
Mm-hmm.
Really, my mother and me and a couple of close friends are so much closer now because it's like, you know, you go through like car accident stuff, so it's emotional when you get to the hospital or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm so glad you're okay. But now it's like when I know those people really thought they weren't going to see me again when they found out about it. And some of those people even told me, they're like, when I saw the news, I thought I was reading an obituary. And then I see them again, and it's like meeting these people again for the first time. And our friendships and our love is just 10 times stronger. And it, you know, it makes me emotional, but it blows you away how much that shit really matters. Because I couldn't, you know, at first I was in the ambulance, like telling my mom, like, you don't got to come out here. I'm going to be fine. It's just a broken leg and it's all this shit. And then it's like, dude, I couldn't do a fucking thing without these people, my friends and family helping me. I have a walker. You know what I mean? It's just, these people have changed my life, you know, again.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the tragedy. That's these kind of circumstances. If you live through them, then it changes your life forever if you allow it to.
Oh, yeah.
If you allow it to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And it is. And I'm going to push this on a positive path because it's just super lucky, you know.
Do you have any I try to find you on social media. I couldn't find you.
I go dark on that, you know. I don't really love to. I have so many repeat clients that now I just stay away from it. But
good for you.
I do have the guiding business, I believe, is at Weld Perfect. So that's the only thing I got. You know, I try to stay away from it.
Yeah. What's the guide service that you work for?
It's Pangea Expeditions is my service, but I guide for a couple places around here. The one big outfit is R&K Hunting out of Colville, and then there's How Hunting Co. out of a different part of Utah. And then I do, you know, a bunch of backwoods hunts with friends and family, you know, freelance stuff all over the place. So yeah, and anybody ever wants to listen to my weird story and hunt, you get a hold of me. So
I need to get a guide lined up with you, man.
Absolutely, let's do it.
I need to do something local.
Yeah.
I think the last couple of hunts I've done have been Idaho and Montana, or no, Wyoming. Took my last cow elk out of Wyoming.
Oh, nice.
But it'd be cool to do some local hunts.
Oh, dude, I'll show you the spots within an hour here. We got, there's monsters. You just got to, you know, and you know backcountry. If you know backcountry, you can go find them. They're sweet. I'm in love with it. You know, I'll show you where to go.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
That'd be a deal. He said it. He promised. It's a deal. So after this, we're going to do some content on Patreon, guys. And I want to get some advice from you on, I want to know specifically how you splinted your leg. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah.
Because you had to use some rudimentary tactics in order to do that and get it done. I also have another gift for you. I got you a new splint, so you can bring it out.
All right, cool. You mean a stick wasn't good enough?
No, yeah. Tac Med Solutions makes this little splint.
Sweet.
I'm gonna gift you that as well.
Killer. Thank you.
I appreciate you being on the podcast, man, and sharing your story, bringing your mom and stuff along.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a last word if you got anything else that you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important, like I said earlier, with the gadgets and world we live in now, with every damn thing you could buy for this thing and the next thing. If you don't have the knowledge of how to save yourself with nothing, just the basic field survival knowledge, gadgets don't mean shit. So prepare that way properly before you buy anything.
It's good advice, man.
Yeah.
Good advice. Thanks, Jake.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
sir.